So, here we are. Wait, I was writing out something. Give me a second. Oh no, this is so bad. Give me a second. I know that I am forgetting about it, so let me see. Yes. Oh, yeah. I forgot that I need to hear myself. There it is. Here we are. Here we are. Vtuber. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I can hear myself. Too mad. Okay. Okay. Let me balance this. Five. 5%. That way I will not go crazy so much. Okay. There we have it. We have some sound. We have some setup. And yes, this. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is going to be. I just know that we're going to have a stay. And I just know that we're going to try and talk out some. I don't know if we are going to succeed on it. I do not know if we are going to really get anywhere. I just know that we're here. And that is all that matters. That is all that always has mattered. At the end of the day, the point was never to. What was the point? What was it? What? Getting lost is so easy. Not knowing where we're going with all of this isn't a recurrent theme, but rather a problem that happens, you know? You can never fully analyze, see, find yourself, correct every single error, but at the very least, we can try, and at the very least, we're getting somewhere. At the very least, we're continuing, yeah? And it never feels bad to once again try, to once again work for something. The only problem is not really having the capacity, not knowing to the full what the best thing is, not knowing how to continue, and feeling like it always lacks, like it always could be better. But I mean, the witness of it is to know that it can be better. The witness of everything is know that we can get it to an even higher state or something like that. The beauty is there. The beauty is something that we just need to search, something that we just have, you know? And it feels so weird. We never really stop. The the way of talking about things, the way of trying to get the, everything done, but never really looking back. It never stops being weird. It never stops or never leaves. It just exists, you know? And all of the parts are what makes this an even better thing, an even more enjoyable thing, you know? And it was never something bad, but wishing to make it better, wishing to make anything an even higher thing is more beautiful than losing time. And the problem is, what is it that they were doing? Which kind of time are we utilizing? Everything is an investment, no? everything requires from us something, and everything really is there, but at the same time, no, and doesn't fully or even more completely arrange everything in front of it, let's say, to show us a path. And the so funny part is to not really know and to not really have the capacity of saying, yeah, this is where we want to go. This is where we're trying to go. But at the same time, it isn't that bad, or it isn't that unsure. It is simply something, And being lost is a feeling that we should find ourselves comfortable with, because it was never something that we could lose from ourselves. It is not something that we can get rid of. It will be beautiful to not have it anymore. But part of existing is questioning everything. Part of being here is trying to get a response, a better one at the very least. Because it was never so, yeah, so simple and so observable for everyone else. We're just here and we're just doing something. The problem is how much we're doing that one thing, how much we're creating something that we're proud of. Because the final point, what ends up mattering the most, is always, did we enjoy it? Did we have a great time? What is it that we left with? What was our final experience? And I guess the problem is also coming into acceptance of the things that we did as something that was there, and not getting angry about it, not feeling like we needed to do it more. Truly finding in ourselves the capacity of saying, yeah, this was something I enjoy. This was something I did because I wanted to. And I might not have it next time. I might not really find it in myself, but I will enjoy it anyways. And when I look back, I will have the memories of that existing, but I will not really worry about it anymore. The problem itself is also how much of an amnesia, how much of a hard time we tend to have, because everything is always moving somewhere, and this problem is also thinking that we ourselves are not moving somewhere when we decide to do nothing, and it feels good to think that it might be somehow true that because we are not putting work into any particular thing, our life is simply waiting for us. The adventure and the possibilities, yeah, are out there. Yes, I will. I will never try that. Yeah, I will not try to say that it is impossible for us to find things like that constantly happening. But at the same time, it doesn't really show us anything in particular. And also, welcome, Rospo. But yes, simply Yeah, we decided to think, we decided somehow that was it okay to take a break? Was it needed? Maybe the problem was nobody even tried to tell us. We had the possibility of doing something that was enjoyable while also carrying the possibility on itself of being what others might like. You know, no one might ever really be completely clear, be completely sure about what it is that they want, but trying to get somewhere is better than nothing, you know? At the very least, trying is what matters. If you somehow allow yourself to stop believing, in that moment it is that you are kind of, yeah, cowboy, basically. A complete cowboy. That is, one doesn't really know, you know. One just assumes that what they are thinking is the best thing there is, and there is possibility, or there is a reality. There will be the one we decided to have. And yes, in this particular case, I will say, even you yourself, Ginko, thank you for everything. The decision that you took about being here, the gift that it is to have you with us, almost the blessing of knowing that you decided to take something like a kiss, and it was never forced. It was something that you never needed to do, yet you wanted a kiss. So yes, it is beautiful, you know. Everything has a beauty on it. And having said that, once again, thank you, Inko. I hope you can enjoy this and know that I am thankful that it is. I never, yeah, I never heard that kids. They are kind of weird. Wow, holy fuck. But well, wow, what a what a thing, what a thing to experience, you know. Literally, my first time hearing one of those. At least when I do it, you know. But well, it isn't something that is that much disrupting. So yeah, it is fine. And well, I guess everything keeps moving. The only question is where. The only next question is how and what are the intentions? What is it we're trying to achieve with this? What is it we're observing? What is everything, you know? The next question is this useful? Was this embedded in the spirit of creating something useful? One might say, yes, it was. One might also say, no, it wasn't. We never will completely know, you know? That is weird. Having such a world and having everything in our hands, sometimes we still struggle. And that is the funny of it, you know? You cannot feel like it is not funny. I mean, sometimes, yes, things might be sad. Sometimes, somehow, things might feel overwhelming. But the whole process and the whole gift of realizing our own potential, our own capacities, overcoming every single of our own, sometimes self-imposed obstacles in life is what makes this an amazing thing. You know, not everybody can say yes. We are moving somewhere. We are getting done with something. Um, I don't know. I I haven't really come to know how to really face and how to really feel when things like, you know, maybe we never knew that it wasn't needed for us to feel anger. We never got told that it wasn't needed for us to have such feelings, you know, because that is the weird thing. We have so many possibilities. We have so many things we could try to do, yet nobody trying to show us. Maybe we didn't really need. We didn't really, how to say, had the intention of feeling something, of reacting. Because yes, at the end of the day, there is no real motive for us to get angry. You could feel it and you could know that something is bad. But what is it that we get when we are angry? Even when you say you might capitalize on the opportunity of getting angry, you still know that it is not true. And you feel deep inside yourself that it was kind of a lie. Probably, as they would say, a white lie intended to not have harm. But is it really needed? Do we really have any obligation at all of getting angry? And I mean, the question might be when you propose something like that, what to do next? What is the next step? Because, yeah, you might say there is no need for us to get angry, but what do we replace it with? What is what is the real point? How could you keep existing sometimes when being angry is almost an essential part of us? When you feel anger toward what is wrong, when you feel that whole sense of a fire burning inside of you, because you know, because you can observe, because you can properly say, yes, I completely abhor this thing that is happening right now. It is sometimes that we get to other places. But I don't think being angry is the solution, you know? The problem is how do we accept it ourselves? How is it that we could create a sense of non angriness instead of us. Why would we even try when everyone else has that at their disposal? In a world where, let's say like this, everybody might at some point feel completely overtaken by their anger and feel almost a necessity, yeah, feel the necessity of reacting negatively to what is happening and even more try to act as if there are different ways of solving things was the correctly no the completely correct one even ourselves here, you know, because it it does not stop being funny because we're here. It only becomes even more kind of complex and even more kind of funny. At the end of the day, we're discussing, we're going over, and we're almost talking as if a lot of things were facts, a lot of things were true, and a lot of things were completely new. But as as the same with anger, is there a real way to find a response for that? To have the real capacity of saying, yeah, you know, we don't need this anymore. We don't know require this ancient tool in our lives, in our present anymore. Is there any way for us to even have the capacity of seeing if it is true or not? I mean, for example, something that might happen is you notice that you're getting sick. You notice that you're deteriorating as a human being. And maybe you get sad. Maybe you decide to almost sometimes get angry because one of the saddest things is almost every single one of our problems might have been avoidable. And when you're trying to think about it, when you're trying to make sense out of what you're seeing, and even more on, when you're trying to make it rational, it is in that particular instance that you believe somehow what you're doing is the correct thing, when in reality, I don't know, it feels better at the very least. And I will say, even if everything else is not so clear, because we are humans, and because an inner part of us is also to have feelings, because we have those when something feels better and when something is less hurtful than other thing, we might as well try to say that it is good, and we might as well believe that it was something capable of carrying a good meaning and a good intention behind it. But the problem is, even if we sometimes are sick, how do you reconcile with the reality you might have had in the past the opportunity of fixing these problems, you know? it never stops being a constant thing to realize that, yeah, we had the possibility of trying to take action, and at the same time, we decided to not do so, and we decided to ignore everything else for the sake of somehow keeping ourselves and almost robbing our actual now from the gift that is, in this case, good health, and the gift that is to not have any real problem to deal with. When we get to any point at all, I would say, in our lives, it always is easier to blame and easier to say, yeah, I think in that sense that what happened in the past was something completely unrelated to us. But if you cannot even accept that you did those things, that they happened to you, and even more, that they are a part of us, maybe, as I said before, yeah, not every single one of our decisions, and even more of the consequences of our actions, was completely in control of our hands. Maybe, but those that were and those that might have had the chance of it being taken care of feel, feel horrible, you know? And I don't really know. Saying, yeah, you simply need to accept and you simply need to allow those things in your life. It's never so easy. Or the opposite. It's the easiest thing, it's the hardest action to do. How will we allow ourselves to accept sometimes that not even us ourselves or would simply just who we are, but even more with other people, we decide to not take action, and that ended up bringing as a consequence in the size reality their loss. And I guess the problem was never trying to really reconcile with that idea, trying to really say, yeah, this this was good, this was a good decision, this particular event that is almost consuming me from the deepest parts of myself, well, the best course of action. And when you realize that they were not, I guess the thing is to simply let go, you know? We don't have the possibility of changing the past, yes. That is one of the, I was going to say sad, but probably it is the most beautiful thing. Because when you realize this is not something that you can do again, this is not something that we can change, you know? So, why, why would we somehow decide to not take this with the required seriousness that it has, with the completely observable importance of every single one of our actions? At the end of the day, yeah, it might feel at first easier to delve into the remorse, into the Sadness, that is to see our actions going bad because of the consequences of our past actions. But at the same time, reality isn't about the past. It was, I will say it like this. This is not a movie where we have to constantly review the previous scenes, yeah, scenes that happen in our lives to know if what we are doing right now is going accordingly to any particular script. The funny thing is, there is no script at all, and we have the pen in our hands, let's say, to choose. I don't know if I wouldn't say wisely, stupidly, I wouldn't say anything at all. Simply, we have the possibility of choosing what it is that we are going to go for in the next moment while realizing those sequence of actions right now. At the same time, observing not what happened before to have a reference for what is next, but rather understanding that yes, we can watch the past and even more, we can connect with the future and we can connect with what is the final goal of ourselves to from there observe in the actual moment as if it were the past and say, okay, in this moment, the best course of action was, let's say, to keep talking, to keep doing something, to keep putting the work, to keep feeding my family, to keep being close with those who were also close with me. It is in those moments that we realize what is it that we are going and what is it that we're trying to achieve. But if we never take the adventure itself of life as what it is, not something that needs to be tragical, not something that needs to be embedded in sadness, in hatred, in bad feelings in general, we might as well never realize what is the whole potential of this. Because what I will really say is we have the capacity of feeling hatred. And the only good thing that I think it has is you realize something is wrong, you realize something is not as good as you want it to be, and in that instance, you realize, okay, how can I change this for the better? Not because I myself want to simply solve for me this matter and not have it happen anymore just for me, but rather take the biggest challenge that is how can I exterminate from reality itself this particular problem? That is when everything gets funny. Because it is in that moment that we see sometimes we might as well not even realize how much of a hard time we are going to have, and even more, how much of a painful thing it will be to try and make our efforts give any real fruit at all. And I guess, yeah, I can't really talk from experience here, but it might as well be worth it to try and create something not simply alone, but rather having as many supporters and as much help as you can. Because when you do it, and when you even more create it, having that into mind and realizing that, yeah, I might as well try my best because if I were to try, others might as well also help me. Because we're individuals, but not every individual experience is unique. There might be some times where, yeah, it is true that what we're going through is it is maybe completely unique, but at the same time, finding those particular instances in our lives is harder even than getting to know how to really solve the problems we have, not only for ourselves, but for the better, let's say, for once and for all, let's say. So yes, I guess taking taking the decision of by itself, taking action into something in particular is what makes this particular thing that is being alive funny. Because if we didn't have it, and even more, if we didn't fear what will happen, we'll really not have the capacity of saying, yeah, we did it, boys. But at the same time, I will say like this: the burning fire that exists inside of us related to or intentional or not, eh? Because sometimes we think it is intentional, but we do not realize that we never wanted to really create it. Simply the feeling of wanting to change something. Because no matter how we realize something is wrong, no matter why we decide to take action, it is in those moments that we can finally say we're comfortable with our actions and we're even more completely fulfilled with this course of reality. And I guess, as I said before, kind of, it might be harder to properly say it when you have never tried to be clear, not only with yourself, but with everything, as it becomes kind of obvious that, yeah, we're not so clear about our intentions, and even less, or, yeah, we're not clear with others, even less with ourselves. Therefore, if we have the capacity of thinking about what it is that is going on right now, and we could really realize that, yeah, we're trying to make something work, my brother. We're simply trying to not have to deal with any particular problem. Simply by doing it, what we have here, you know? I guess the problem is, why will we want happiness as a, what is it? As a goal, as a reward. I never completely understood what was the point of being happy. I never completely saw it as something obliteratingly necessary in our lives. I have seen people that might as well do better if they had any ounce of happiness inside of themselves. Yeah, in those instances, I would say, yeah, it is true. But we have to work on things. Why would we design to be happy? And we will even more feel like it is okay to feel happy with our actual state of things. It kind of needs to keep being born from the reality of knowing that yes, it could be even better and it could get into an even higher state, let's say, if we were to keep working on it. From the reality of sitting in the feeling of uncomfortableness, it is that we can realize what is it that we are trying to achieve and what is it that we are still lacking to make it a reality instead of simply saying, yeah, this will get done in X amount of days or years. So, yeah, it is crazy, you know? It is probably one of the longest journeys, the one of trying to make anything work, but at the same time, the reward themselves, I guess, knowing that you solved something finally, and not only for you, but for the whole humanity, is what might as well give you not pleasure, but relief, because it is the same as with you trying to see West what could be better right now for the sake of your future. You empathize with yourself in that case and realize that you want to be better because you fear or because you already know how bad things could get if you didn't allow anything to get better. And it is in that particular instance of our beautiful life that we can even more say, yeah, we're working on things and we're getting something moving, you know, no matter what it is, because no one really cares. Simply know that we have something inside of ourselves, inside of our community, inside of the world, moving into a goal, into a final state or a finished state. I don't know. I don't know. We're never clear. We're not completely sure that is also something, and we're never aware of every single part of our lives. But it is understandable, you know, not having to be overwhelmed by any particular feeling, not having to be, so to speak, endorsed with different parts of our own reality is what makes this thing more enjoyable. Because if it weren't enjoyable, we'll not even try to be here. And if it weren't something that we could, in that same sense, make even better, we wouldn't have a kind of a reason. Um, oh yeah, there is an echo. There is an intended echo. So yeah, I hope you can somehow still understand because even I myself have a hard time following what I am trying to say with that particular echo in the background. But yes, there is an echo. So yeah, now that it is intended. But thank you for your concerns, Aronspoon. And yes, do not worry. It is only something intended to make everything else, I will say, even harder, you know. To give the possibility for those who want to see, okay, maybe there is something interesting here. Are you really sure there is anything interesting here to hear? You might as well have to work even to get the message completely. Because, as I said before, not even you are having a hard time. I myself, as the one who is creating this, is even more suffering for it. I wouldn't say anyone in particular, but simply for the sake of creating this as good as it could be. So yeah, this is simply another layer of this beautiful experience that is to try and get anything going. And I wouldn't completely know what to say, my brother. I guess I don't know. I want to I want to keep running from the topic. It is it is the only kind of audio that we have playing right now. And that it is even more kind of obvious that in a way I wanted to talk about it, but it feels better to not acknowledge the reality of sometimes even sadness that is to think about time as something that is limited to us. But you know, when we have nothing else, we might as well simply go for it. I don't know. We might as well try. And as always, I guess, please, in this particular instance, even more, do not even believe what I am saying. Because this is kind of a playful thing that we're doing over here. This is, let's say like this. This is the biggest game that we're playing. One where we see what a mind has to offer the reality. If the idea is good, we might as well talk about it later. If the idea is bad, we might as well not even pay attention to what was said and discard it completely. So yeah, let me talk about it because I think I am kind of the opposite. I don't know what to think about that. You know, it is kind of the biggest thing that we have somehow discovered, and nobody really takes notice. You know, because it will be amazing to know that we had all the time in the world to do the things that we wanted to do, and we had even more. All the possibilities of not even trying to get something particular going, but the opposite is more real, you know. We might as well have so many things to do in a finite amount of time that trying to guess, trying to decide, and even more, trying to be clear about what it is that we are deciding to do with our time is, I think it is painful, you know. That I really think it will be, it will be beautiful to not have a necessity of looking back and saying, yeah, I might as well have taken a decision here, a tiny error over here. And I mean, in the same sense as I said before, it will be more useful to not think about the past, but how can you keep yourself completely in check? Because I myself I can't. I know that I am trying, and I know that I am putting my efforts for the sake of not doing it anymore. But what I said does not constitute a reality, and even less does not make my efforts be completely fruitful, let's say. Because no matter what happens, at one point or another, the reality of, yeah, maybe today I did something bad. Maybe today I decided to spend it wisely, In those moments, it feels horrible. And yet more, in those particular moments, how is it that, I guess, the amazing thing is to see, even if it is true, that we can still keep going, and that even more, we can still find an interesting moving forward. And I mean, it never stops being crazy that with the possibility being offered to us to, let's say, finish everything as soon as we want and give everything a closure with which we are satisfied on ourselves instead of worrying about anyone else. Having all of that in our hands, we still decided to be here and we still decided to try and work on something. And we still even more decided to sometimes, or well, not sometimes, if we didn't have the necessity, we will be making something that is only in our minds, probably. We will even try to use media, text, a computer, textbook, a pen. We'll even try to utilize anything with ourselves if what we wanted was simply entertainment, We always kind of believe in the idea of maybe we should try to work something that benefits everybody instead of us. Kind of what I said before. We might as well try to solve not only our own problems, but even more those that others might have on their lives. Because we know things, and even more, because we sense how sad it is to have them in our lives. Therefore, we want to get rid of them and we want to know even more have not only us but even more every single person face them. And I guess that is the moment that makes kind of everything have some sense. It doesn't completely make all of this the most logical thing in the world. Still, us is not to completely refute the possibility of ending all as soon as we wanted to end. But I don't know. I guess do I guess something? I think I don't guess anything. It only feels like if that is something that has been done in the past, we might as well guide ourselves based on what others are already done. We might never find an answer simply with our own efforts because we lack the capacity of seeing everything that there is to be seen about these things as they are individual things, and even more as they are not only individual but completely not even personal, completely embedded in our own reality. As things that other might as well have tried before, and as things that might carry some potential, but when I need to work it. That I guess is a good way to say it. Trying to get anything done instead of forgoing of our own responsibilities. Because yeah, in a sense it always has the feeling of you decided somehow to not have any responsibility anymore. When in reality the first one was to keep ourselves alive. If our body wasn't ever interested in that, we wouldn't be here. If one of the funniest things or one of the best ways to see it is if your body decide to kill you out of nowhere, you will have literally no way to avoid it. Yet, we are still standing here, and everything is still going. Since I started, nothing has stopped. No clock, no brain, no nothing has stopped. We only need to keep going. And even more right now, after being here, we might as well try to remember. What was it that we were trying to go for? How is it that we are going to achieve it? And maybe, yeah, I guess, maybe we sometimes might need help. So let's see how we can get it, you know? Let's pray for the best, I would say. And let's say, yeah. I guess in that sense, the problem is always trying to avoid saying it. Having the possibility of feeling good, and even more, having the possibility of not even worrying about anything is what makes things and what gives us the possibility of not even having to conceal. I don't know if it is our feelings, I don't know what it is. Not having to conceal anything, you know, simply working, simply decided to actively hunt something from behind. And I guess that's the fun, I will say. Now, we simply need to find how to do it. And yeah, it is up to us. I guess, kind of, in the same sense as before. The possibilities are always endless. We only need to see them. We only need to accept that we need to work, forget, or reality in check, let's say. But yeah, I don't know anymore. In reality, it is it is a kind of something to know that we never knew. We never had the possibility of really knowing anything at all. So yeah, having said that, yeah, I guess that I can properly guess. I am kind of destroyed already, and I still have a long path ahead. So we might as well try to get this a close. We might as well try to make this get a proper end. So yeah, we'll see how we do. Let me stop this fucking sound for once. I mean, compared to everything else, it wasn't really that bad. Not even my own voice. We didn't have any scream. We didn't have any clattering. We were fine, you know. We were very entertained here. So yeah. There it is. No more fucking. No more even my own voice. Amazing. We definitely get it. And there is 170 bus. So yeah. This is done. One session more of sanity cultivation. Next time, I don't know when I am going to have the possibility of stream. I will try probably to go for a night stream after Christmas is, yeah, has happened here. But now, I want to leave. I want to rest. I want to continue making something that feels great. And we will see how it goes, how we end up creating it. But now, no more. Please, no more. We need to take a break and we need to give ourselves the chance of resting. Because even more, as we're approximating, or we're already in a very, at least as this is being made live, in a very big time where if we lost track of ourselves, we might as well need to take even more time than what is really needed to heal every single one of our scars, let's call them. So yeah, we're going to see how we deal with that. Now, I don't really know what else. Uh, as always, I guess it isn't that I guess. I mean, one of the few things I can properly say, and I can not even try to guess anymore is the YouTube being grateful is an amazing thing, and I can't say anything else aside from that because yeah, truly thanks for every single part of this. The possibility of being here is not simply an amazing one. It is never simply an amazing one. It is somehow as if it felt like the biggest gift anyone could ever wish for. When in reality, I don't really know how to say it. It doesn't really feel like it was that big, while at the same time, it has the possibility of being the biggest one of them all. So yeah, I don't know. This was a very great thing. That is all I can say. And, and I can also say thanks. Thanks for every single part of this. Thanks for paying attention. Thanks for loving. Thanks for watching the world. Every single part of this is what makes this everything that is great. We'll keep seeing how it all goes. And we'll keep smiling because that is what makes us keep being alive sometimes. So yes, please, as always, remember to take care. We have even the what today? I think this is kind of bad. We have the what. This is amazing. We have the what, so we might as well even try to be with something beautiful. And that is alright. Because it is never bad to try and help others. Or not even to help, simply to be there for others, you know? To try and give back a little bit of what we have received before. So yes, thanks. Thanks for all, as always. And remember also, even if the message is there to take care of yourself, don't let anything else take control of you. Stay safe, rest properly, smile more, more, and when the next opportunity arises, we're going to be here once again. But now, we need to take a break. We need to see something else. And yes, we need to live. So thanks. Whenever it happens, it happens. Now, goodbye. Thanks, and let's drive out of here. Goodbye.